I am Brenna Jasper. I'm the owner and head instructor of Chippewa Valley Irish Dance. Irish dance goes back truly hundreds of years. It has some really ancient roots in Ireland. It started as kind of a pagan custom actually, but then evolved over time to involve dance masters. You'd have these groups of people that would do different, styles of dance, and the dance masters then would travel around from county to county in Ireland, and they would teach their steps to the individual groups. From there, that evolved into groups getting together and having competitions, kind of performing, etc. After church on Sunday, folks would come wearing their Sunday best and they would go and they would dance together. So that's where you get the really elaborate costumes and some of the done-up hair that you see when you look into like Irish dance competitions nowadays is rooted from way back when folks would be coming straight from church to dance. It really became modernized thanks to river dance in probably, I think that was the early 90s, and that is what really brought it into mainstream culture. Chippewa Valley Irish Dance actually was derived from an organization I used to run in Eau Claire. I went to school at UW Eau Claire, and when I came up this way I found that there just was not, there wasn't much in this area by way of Irish dancing or, Irish music, culture, that kind of thing. And so I decided I would just start my own group, and initially I intended to find former dancers like myself to just get together and practice together, but found that in addition to finding a few former dancers, there was an appetite for people to learn. Everybody's going to start learning Irish dance by learning the same technique. They're going to learn the positions, what to do, not just with your feet, but with the rest of your body, the posture, how we want you to kind of carry yourself. That will help with some of the other technical footwork aspects of things. So we do a variety of drills that they might look and seem simple, but they are very tricky to do because Irish dance is very unique in what it requires your body and your muscles to do. It's not a natural movement at all. Even if you come in with some other dance experience, it oftentimes can be challenging for people to adapt to that different technique. From an instructing perspective, a challenge is always going to be helping folks learn, because there's a very steep learning curve, and not get frustrated and make it challenging but fun. And that's the main goal. Irish dance is unlike any other type of art form in what it requires your body to do, and it can be slow going at first, especially when you want to come in and be the next Michael Flatley, but the technique takes a long time to get down. Irish dance technique is definitely the most difficult to learn. You would think it would be fairly easy to dance and not do anything with your arms, but it actually is very difficult to do that. It requires a lot of core strength, and it requires a lot of upper body control as well, in addition to all of the intricate moves that your feet are doing and the turnout associated with that, and being up on your toes and on time to the music, etc., etc. So that's definitely a challenging piece of it, and no matter how good or skilled you are, it's an area that everybody's always going to have where they can grow.
The challenge is figuring out a way to articulate something that happens in like the blink of an eye, because that's how fast some of these steps are. I mean, sometimes trying to talk it out with people just falls apart, because the way I learn is not always going to be the way that someone else learns. When I was little, my mom had river dance VHSs where it taught you some of the steps, and I'm from a really small town, so that's the closest I was ever going to get to Irish dancing. So I've always really liked it, but I never had the opportunity to do it, and I just happened to be working at a restaurant that Brenna was performing at one St. Patrick's Day. She was passing out cards for classes, and I was like, this is my chance. And I went.
When I was a kid, I would watch Riverdance with my grandparents, and then I would also go to Irish Fest in Milwaukee with my parents. And you would have these giant stages full of all of these Irish dancers doing the same thing at once, and I thought it looked so cool because the hard shoe and all the flashy costumes appealed to my younger self quite a bit. And my parents luckily signed me up for classes, and I started doing it actually with my cousin. So I competed heavily for 6 or 7 years. We went all over the country. And then I switched to a school that was closer to my home when I went to high school. And at that school, it was much more laid back, and I got a taste of choreographing and teaching, which then I found I really enjoyed. So then when I came up to school here in Eau Claire, I found that people had a desire to learn, and I thought, well, let's marry the two the two concepts and just start a group.
So there was an event for St. Patrick's Day at the Naval Tanner, and my husband's grandmother was from Ireland, so we're very Irish festive as a family. So they had some examples going on, some demos, and Ellen really got into it, so we decided to sign her up. I think like most kids, she wanted to take a dance class, and so this was local and it, tied to her family, so it worked out really well for us. I really liked the people that I always saw, the adults that I saw performing with Ellen, and I always had a really good vibe about them, so I was drawn to that and decided to pursue it. I like that it makes me, like when I get home after class, I always am a little extra bouncy and a little extra, I feel a little bit more fulfilled in my life, just get that, I don't get a lot of movement in my regular life. I don't really like traditional exercise, so it gets me moving and it gets me, I'm just trying to report. Sit down. Thank you.
Why did you start Irish dance?
There's 2 reasons. Because it looked fun and there was a lot of fun things, and my Nana loved to dance and she was born in Ireland.
It has been really good for her. I think part of it is getting to be, there's school, but she's with a whole bunch of kids, and there's always a little bit of those different cliques and tensions and whatever. But I feel like it gets more of that team environment, plus getting to see what other kids do provides that challenge that she needs to strive a little harder.
What is most challenging about Irish dance?
Well, I'm not young anymore. Just getting my feet to move the way that they're supposed to go and as fast as they're supposed to go, and it doesn't really work very well sometimes. But it's a challenge, but I really like it, and I look forward to seeing it, learning more.
I like watching other people get the steps and like seeing it click in their head. I like watching people perform for the first time when they didn't know if they really wanted to do it, because it is really fun, and everybody gets scared going up in front of a bunch of people and dancing, especially if it's your first time, but I really like watching people get more confident and better at it.
Our performances vary. First of all, we'll perform out anywhere. Anywhere someone asks us to come dance, we will come and dance, just because that's part of the fun in working towards learning these steps, of sharing them with the community and sharing them with every, family, friends, things like that. We'll perform with live musicians quite a bit. That is my personal favorite way to perform because there's a lot of energy. Our group, actually just this last year, we danced with the Red Hot Chili Pipers at the Maple Stage, and they were a great group to dance with, very energetic and just a ton of fun. And then we'll partake in different community events like Eau Claire's International Fall Festival, the Maple Community event here in Menomonie. It's not uncommon that we'll do it once or twice and then it'll become kind of an annual thing. That's really fun too, to be invited back, because that tells us that also that people are enjoying what we have to share. I love that through instructing Irish dance, I'm able to kind of create a little community of fellow people that appreciate Irish dance and appreciate each other and learning together. It is super rewarding to see how proud a dancer is when they, get a step for the first time or when they perform for the first time. I love from a parent aspect when they tell me that their kiddo wore their shirt to school for their talent day or something like that because they want to share it with others, because that's what it's all about. I had that initial joy when I learned and wanted to share it with others, and now it's super rewarding to see kiddos that are and adults that are in classes feel the same way and want to pass that on as well. Irish dance is just so special because it has so many benefits, not just the obvious physical benefits, but then the mental and emotional benefits as well of being a part of a community. I recently read a study that showed that over time as you age, the hippocampus in your brain gets smaller, and that's where people start to struggle with memory. But that study showed that for folks that participate in a weekly dance class, their hippocampus actually gets larger. And so it combats some of those things. And I think it is just so cool and a very tangible example of how, our bodies need not only the physical activity, but to have our minds challenged and to be pushed to do different things and try new things. And Irish dance is a great vehicle for that, for everyone.